guys, it's Rebekah here. I wanted to give you a little heads up that this episode's not going to be too pretty to look at. Little behind the scenes action, I use the Elgato capture device to capture video, and the program it comes with has some optional overlays for videos for if you're streaming or things like that. I never really used them, but it looks like this last episode, when I hit the record button, I accidentally tabbed over to one of those overlays, so you're just going to see a lot of stupid nonsense on the screen during this video, and I apologize. I'm afraid I can't remove it, otherwise I would, and obviously we're way too deep into this game to re-record this, so sorry, don't know how that happened. Blame Matt. Bye. Oh.
What is that?
I don't know.
Is it a penguin? Or is it a man? Oh, it's a fish.
Any of those descriptors are a bit of a stretch.
I just look at it, he's just got that.
Hey, we're back.
We are back.
Oh, we're back.
Did you like your 4 seconds of gameplay?
I did.
I
I did.
With these massive sails from the ship. See, if she was fully voiced and she was like, "You can now set your dancing ability." It's fine.
She's like, I don't care any more than you do. Let's go.
Okay, we're good. Oh my god. Okay, so we are back. There went the bug. Get. All right. It's beeping. Still beeping.
Yeah.
Wait, oh yeah. I was gonna say...
Look at the sun!
It looks like one of the pigs from Angry Birds.
It does.
Oh, it's real bad. Oh.
Like Calcifer from Hell's Moving Castle?
Oh, yeah, I can see that. It's a cute movie.
I love that. That's my favorite.
Really?
That's my favorite Miyazaki movie.
I remember being a little about it when I first saw it, but yeah, it's fine. Whatever. You can like a thing.
We're gonna have to fight.
No, I think it's perfectly lovely little film. It's just not man, my top 3 are without question Mononoke, Kiki, and Nazca. Although I think that Nazca is also like kind of the was like the beta version of Mononoke in a way. Sort of.
I don't know.
Did you read the Nazca manga?
No.
It's real good. It is real good. Uh-oh.
My favorites are my favorite Miyazaki movie is Hell's Moving Castle.
All right.
That is the kind of fantasy I like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's definitely the
kind of weird, kind of esoteric in a way, with some unique elements to it.
I think it's the uniqueness. It's not that it's weird and esoteric. It's just that it is a fantasy world that is not
dragons.
It's not crazy derivative.
It's not Tolkien.
Yeah, it's not derivative from Tolkien or D&D or something.
Oh yeah, I mean,
which is a lot of why I like Zelda.
Oh yeah, that is something that I have thought about in a lot in the past. Is like how Zelda is really not like a super traditional fantasy world.
Mm-mm. It takes some very base elements from those things. Like we've talked about this before.
Oh sure.
It takes base elements from Tolkien, like the different races. Like you can break it down if you wanted to. That like the Zora are the elves, and the Goron are the dwarves, and the Hylian are the humans, basically.
Well, that's also kind of like, that's just shorthand for... It's shorthand for, like, you have this big, tough race, and you have this more delicate, pretty race, but they're water, and... I don't know, like... I didn't realize how much of Tolkien was really taken from Norse mythology until fairly recently.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really, like, oh, the elves and the dwarves are just straight up, hey, buddies, bye. Oh. Oh, God. Ah!
We did this last time. What am I doing?
Did we come in here already?
Yeah.
Oh, God. My jaundice.
I probably should have been paying attention to what Fee was saying.
Oh, who cares? Who gives a shit?
But anyway, so yeah, the kind of fantasy that I like is the non-completely derivative. Like, that's why I really couldn't get myself into, like, the Dragon Age game.
I was about to say Dragon Age.
Things like that. And I'm honestly the same with sci-fi. I'm really not that into very strictly sci-fi things. That's why I've really never gotten into Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I wouldn't call myself like a huge fan of it, but I prefer Star Wars over Star Trek because it's got more of those fantasy elements to it.
Sure, which is so funny because Morgan can't get into Star Wars at all.
Mm.
She needs there to be a delineation between hard sci-fi and hard fantasy.
Yeah, see, I'm the complete opposite. I'm like, no, I don't like them to be so delineated like that.
I don't really have any strict rules per se for myself. I like it when people do weird and interesting stuff, but do we need to check the old brain?
No, I think I'm supposed to. I wasn't supposed to go back in there. I'm supposed to, like, sail around and find the pieces of the sail.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's what I'm actually
Why is that there? Because challenge. Because realism.
Can you get my boat?
I don't think we can. So my ship wasn't here either. Oh. You found a clue. Okay. Some kind of thing called dowsing? You mean the thing people have been using for centuries?
To see.
I'm a robot for no reason.
No reason.
Who made me? Who made any of this?
I don't know, but it sounds like a much more interesting story.
Who made who? Who made you? Anyway,
I'm just trying to read notes.
I know, it's alright. I looked over at you and you were like, you were either, don't look at him, don't look at him, don't look at him.
It's one of those, there's so much useless text in this game that
Right.
I'm starting to flip through it, and every now and then I have to stop and be like,
okay, what?
did I just go through something I needed to know? You know?
Yeah, no, I gotcha, where you're like, oh man, what did I skip? Because really, there's so much of it where you're just like, I don't care.
And it's not like delightful enough to read, because like
it's also fee and it's dry and robotic and it's not fun.
Yeah. It's not like talking to Midna where you're like, I love you.
You're a little shit, aren't you?
You little gremlin, you. Like, you know, and I'm like, I like some visual novel games. Like, I love the Danganronpa games. That's just all reading.
Right.
But they're delightful characters, and you like to listen to them and hear what they're saying. Like, this is not that.
Where are you going? We'll be dowsing, aren't we?
Oh. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's in this fucking circle here that I've tried to go to 5 times. And it's like, no, not yet.
No,
not yet.
Not like this.
Only when I tell you. Only when I tell you to go here will you go here. Okay. You gonna let me? Or is it... Maybe it's moving is the thing. The ship is like...
Oh.
I think that's what he was saying. He's like, oh, the...
Whoop, 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 whoop. What are we looking for?
Stupid ship.
Oh, so it's a ship.
It's something.
I don't know. Shut up, leave me alone. Oh. Yeah, I guess it is moving.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so we are looking for his ship. I thought we were looking for something else. What's that down there?
Sorry.
Oh. Looks like a pile of boxes.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay. I feel like Are we getting closer or further away? It's getting further away. Oh, almost. Come on. Got this. Got this by the ass. Oh! So, Skyward Sword.
It's a game.
It's a game that exists. It just... I don't want to, like... Again, it's just so telling that we just totally flip-flopped on this. Where'd it go? It feels like it's going faster than it should.
I wish there was any kind of indication as to where it is.
You have to douse, Rebekah.
Yeah, the problem is switching between these two screens means that, like, it moves between the time I'm switching. So it's just like, well, now it's moved from where I literally just saw it. But I don't know exactly where it's
Can you fire
moving.
from this position?
No.
Okay, cool. Get it. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh. Wait, does it transcend time and space? Is that how it works? You're just like...
It's supposed to be a ghost ship.
It's like Starscream's Spark.
It does have, like, a time stone in it, so...
Oh, got it. Okay, so it's like... Oh, yeah! And then... I just feel like eventually one of us is gonna die.
I mean... Yes. Oh, you were talking about this game.
No, yeah.
Well, it's gonna be you. I don't plan to die ever. It's not gonna happen to me.
Someone needs to take care of Quentin.
Yeah.
And marry my wife.
Yeah. Important jobs.
My wife now.
My wife now.
Oh, man. So, okay. I feel like we need to address the elephant in the room. Which is Thundercats.
Okay. This is like what... There's a lot of options about what this could be. I don't actually know what you're talking about.
Or we could address the rat bat spider that I bought from Club Daikaiju.
Hey, Thundercats.
Hey, Thundercats. This is a kind of a cat. Look at it. Look at it, Rebekah. He wants to give you a hug, Rebekah, with his inexplicable pincer claws.
I'm gonna bodily harm you.
I don't know. This thing's pretty pointy.
I'm not gonna attack that. I'm gonna hurt you.
I know. That's why I use this. I'm like...
Why are these butterflies?
I don't know.
I thought whatever.
Yeah, who cares? It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
So it probably will.
No, it never does. It's just like a dumb treasure wall. Okay, look, more useless money. So... Okay, so, no, I just, as of this recording, the new Thundercats was announced. Mm-hmm. The weird little Thundercats reboot. And I really should have just put fucking money on how the fandom was going to react to it.
How much people are going to hate it?
Yeah, because...
For no fucking reason.
So, I'm Facebook friends with Kyle Carosa. I think that's how you say his last name. He's the showrunner for Mighty Magiswords. And he posted about it, and I'm like, oh, this looks like a funny little thing. Like, I see that they're kind of taking the Teen Titans Go treatment with it, which, you know, just means it's a comedy.
Yeah. It's a comedy for children.
For children. And because that's just the way stuff's going right now. Mm-hmm. If you want your badass action cartoons, you gotta go to Netflix.
Watching somewhere else. They're available somewhere else.
Of course. I think you have to hit the fan with the blowy thing. So of course... Can you? Oh.
I think I know what I'm supposed to do.
Okay. So, of course, what happens? Everyone... I mean, I've already seen people saying, I'm gonna cut the showrunner's head off. Why? Why do you?
Yeah, why? Is
Why
it,
do you?
Is it really? that big a fucking deal?
Fucking important? This franchise that you haven't thought about since they canceled the other cartoon that you didn't watch?
Yeah, that you didn't even think about then because it got canceled because no one watched it?
Right. I mean, now, it has fans. And the thing is, I'll get messages from people saying, I don't know what you're talking about. I loved that show and watched it religiously. And I'm like, oh. Good.
All right. Yeah, it's like, cool. You did.
You're not everyone.
You're not everyone.
Are you enough to keep a multi-million-dollar show on that? Hey, did you know we had jelly blobs in this, Rebekah? Mm-hmm. Did you know what jelly blobs are? Right. Hey, let me show you where we're going to put it in our pack.
Hey, I think, Matt, it's getting to the point where, like,
us complaining about that same thing over and over again.
Us complaining about that every time is
not funny anymore.
It's probably as annoying as it happening every single time.
I'm glad that we've reached that point. Now I don't ever have to mention it again.
Yeah.
I think we've done that for a lot in this game, though, where we're just like, oh, look, this thing that we've already addressed 1,000 times. Do you feel our pain, viewers? So, anyway, Thundercats.
Like, yeah, so, look, everything has fans.
Right.
But Thundercats has not been popular. It wasn't even popular when the 2011 remake came out.
Right.
That doesn't mean it didn't have fans. It means it wasn't popular, and those are two very different things monetarily wise.
Right. I mean, the people holding the purse strings are the ones making those decisions. And it's unfortunate because it was a really good show, and Cartoon Network kind of has fucked up. Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon both have really kind of fucked up schedules.
Yeah.
And maybe they didn't put it in the right time slot. Maybe it, at the time, Netflix didn't have a model where you could do a badass Voltron reboot. You know what? Voltron had a reboot a few years ago. Before the one that's on Netflix. Nobody watched that either. I don't even think it made it past the first season. It wasn't a bad show. But nobody watched it. I don't know what to tell you. You guys know what else nobody's watching? No one's watching Power Rangers anymore. They're watching it on Netflix. Maybe they'll put the next series on Netflix. Hasbro just bought it, which is weird.
But, yeah, no, so people are getting, like...
really upset about it.
They're getting irrationally angry about this children's cartoon that they didn't even care about until this remake was announced.
Right. And it's like, hey, guess what? Had they done a series for Netflix? And it would have been like, oh, it's a new Thundercats series for Netflix. Cool. I don't know how Netflix is remaining profitable, personally. I'm like... You guys going with this. But it's fine. I mean, they're doing the new She-Ra.
Yeah.
That'll be cool, I hope. I mean, we don't know. Oh, that's it. Okay. I know that the showrunner for it is the cartoonist behind Lumberjanes, which is a popular indie comic.
I'm not sure I have the thing that I need for this room just yet.
Isn't it?
Maybe I do. Hold on. I gotta go. You keep talking.
Okay. Because Thunderjanes has a very particular look to it. You know what it looks like? It kind of looks a little bit like the new Thundercats cartoon. Which makes me wonder... I mean, not exactly. Thundercats kind of has this stocky, stumpy style that's a little more reminiscent of something like Clarence.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of those cartoons are starting to look like that, partially because that is what's popular and that's what's selling, but also there's a lot of people that are coming out of CalArts animation right now.
I was about to say, it's kind of a CalArts, like, everybody in CalArts is like, oh, thank God we don't have to do anime anymore.
Which, I mean, like, here's the thing. When you have the vast majority of, like, your animators coming out of a single school, that's what's going to happen.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, they're all going to be part, and that's, and it's just the nature of the industry, it's the nature of trends in general. Mm-hmm. And eventually it'll move on to something else, and we'll probably get another Thundercats reboot down the line.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if you don't like this new Thundercats, and if you really want a badass Thundercats, go buy the Blu-ray of the previous series. Vote with your dollars. Send a message. Anyway. Yeah, I was going to say, it's like... I'm trying to think about what it is, too. Oh.
Reset it.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
I'm kind of mesmerized by this a little bit.
I'm pretty sure these are the clues, but I don't know which one is supposed to be
Oh!
the... Oh, wait. Hold on.
Yeah, the red is supposed to indicate...
Well, I don't know which one's supposed to be the first one in the sequence. That's the problem.
Well, maybe it's this one. That's in the...
Down... Down, right, down, up.
Maybe? Checking my brain. Just to be safe. Let's see. Oh, do you want to know?
Sure.
Down, up, down, right.
Yeah,
How would you know that?
I don't know how I'm supposed to figure out which one was the first in that sequence. Down what?
Down, down, up, down, right. Yeah, it says ship's wheels offer the code and each wheel is an arrow indicating which of the poles is straight. And a number of spokes to indicate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Fucking who cares? We already did it. Nothing matters. We're all gonna die. Hey, you got a treasure chest. I bet it's a map.
But here's the other thing about Thundercats.
Tell me. Are they on the move? Are they loose?
It is a show for children.
Yes.
Let children have a goddamn television show. It is not made for you. It is not made for me. This is not being made for adults. I'm sorry. But, like, that's...
This is a real sticking point for you.
It really bothers me. Like, this whole idea... This whole, like, nostalgia jerk fest that we've got going on. Where it's like, no, things should be made for me because I was a fan of that, and I want it to be made my way for me. And I'm like, you had a childhood. That's why you have nostalgia in the first place.
Right.
You have nostalgia because you were allowed a childhood to enjoy these things. Let children have that these days. You had your turn. You have the things that you like. I bet if you took 5 goddamn seconds, you might actually like the new stuff. Like, it really, like, that, it really bothers me that it's like, you'd rather take something away from kids these days so you could have it your way. You know?
And there's 1,000...
It's the same people who shit on Nintendo for making children's games and then turn right around and brag about how they grew up with Nintendo as a child.
Oh, well, sure.
And I'm like, go fuck yourself. Like, you had a childhood with video games because Nintendo made family-friendly games, and you're gonna bitch about it now? Like, God forbid children have the same things you had.
But Thundercats, is from my generation, so they should understand that the only people who will care are people from my generation.
Like, it legitimately really bothers me. This whole attitude of ownership over... Well, especially when it is in terms of, like, taking it away from kids, like
My Little Pony. I remember that was a major problem you had. Wasn't that the most? That was the most notes you ever got on your Tumblr page.
Oh, yeah.
Was
people are still mad.
This
at me.
angry thing, this angry tirade you had. Not even a tirade. You just made kind of a.
It wasn't a tirade. It was a shit post. All right.
That's fair.
It was like a 2-sentence shit post that I made at work one day.
Because you were saying that, like.
Well, I compared, it was before Ghostbusters came out, the new Ghostbusters. It was when the film was first announced.
Right.
We knew nothing about it.
Right.
We literally knew the words, female Ghostbusters. And that was it. And people were already losing their goddamn minds. Like, people were pissed off, people were like, you're ruining it, and the feminists are taking over, and yada yada yada.
Feminazis.
Like, you know, feminists and quote-unquote SJWs are ruining, you know, are ruining this stuff. And so I made a post basically saying, like, comparing, you know, oh, yeah, feminists are ruining Ghostbusters. Meanwhile, like, little girls can no longer Google My Little Pony safely.
Yeah.
You know?
And then people are like, no, it's not the same thing.
I'm like, And, like, I got so many people being like, excuse me, I went to Google and Googled My Little Pony, and I didn't see anything untoward. And I'm like...
First of all, clearly you fucking didn't.
Yeah. It's like, well, first of all, you kind of missed the point of the post. It wasn't actually saying, like, go to Google and, like, little girls will immediately see porn. It was saying that, like... because I mean, well, there is a lot of porn in My Little Pony.
Well, but you have to do it with safe search on and just but it's been co-opted. In fact, the fucking episode of Bob's Burgers had made a joke out of that where they were like Bob is talking to his friend at his burger bar, and they're like, God, men ruin everything, don't they? Yeah, they do. Like all the wars.
It's not just you look in the book while I talk.
Okay. You're done, Matthew.
Like, here's the thing. Like, okay, yeah. Like, the porn that you can find on Google, sometimes it's cleaned up now because, honestly, there are parts of the My Little Pony fandom that look for that to flag it, and I actually really respect those people. But it was more than just that. It's about the fact, like, first of all, Googling does not end with a single image search of the name My Little Pony.
Sure.
I was a little girl on the internet, and, like, you know, as careful as your parents can be, little girls they're going to look up specific characters, which gives you different results. They're going to start going, like, they could look for forums, they could look for other things like that. It is not that hard to go a couple links down from the official My Little Pony and find, like, DeviantArt or something.
Sure.
So there's that. But secondly, I was like, the greater point is the fact that the show has been completely co-opted by an older adult male audience. And, you know, I got all the responses that are like, did you find an answer? Or?
No, there's no answer. It just says you're supposed to go through the door, get the small key, unlock the door up to the first floor, get ready for a sub-boss fight. Is there anywhere you're supposed to go in here? That's all it says, literally.
I don't know, I'm gonna look anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
But, like, it's the fact that this thing has been co-opted. And, of course, I've got the people who are like, you know, you can find porn of anything. And I'm like, well, yes, but the people who make porn of, like, Disney princesses, they don't have their own fan name of, like, male Disney princess fans. Like, they don't have...
Prince Jizzers.
Yeah, they don't have conventions named specifically after their gendered fan name.
Oh, God, yes, that's right.
What other show for children that got a big male audience got not one, but 2 documentaries on that audience? None. There are 2 Brony documentaries. Like,
yeah.
So I'm like, it is more than, like, it is more than the single sentence on my stupid little shit post. It's that this whole thing got co-opted.
Right.
But then nerd males have the audacity to then turn around and say, why are you taking this from me? Like, you know?
Yeah, it's...
I was like,
I get you.
The post was about the hypocrisy of that idea.
Right, and...
You know? And it just... There were a lot of people that agreed with me. I don't want to sound like...
Yeah.
I'm a pariah because I made... No, there were a lot of people who actually agreed with me, but there were definitely a lot of people that got pissed off, too.
Oh, good. It's a nightmare. Oh, he's coming at you.
That's fine.
End it. End me. You just gotta keep thrusting. You gonna thrust there, Rebekah? You keep thrusting? You are not taking the bait, are you?
No. I have to concentrate.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, sure. And I mean, God knows. And I think the thing that... Oh. That's right. He's gonna, like... Oh, that's right. You gotta do the thing. How do you do that further back? So, there's a conversation to be had about adaptation and about... what maybe one would consider to be a quote-unquote quality adaptation. We can't really have that conversation right now because the show's not out yet. People who don't like it clearly don't like it. I can't expect them to like it.
That's the other thing, too, is that people are like, this looks like shit. And I'm like, you've seen, like, a 10-second clip of the main character talking and then the opening. What the fuck do you mean it doesn't look good?
I actually really like the opening. I think the opening is really cute. The opening looks like a cute little parody version of the original show, which is kind of what this show is supposed to be. Oh boy.
I'm also super not cool with
You mean just to talk?
Just a cool fight. No.
Okay.
I'm legit like frustrated.
Are you sure you're? Oh, should I not have brought this up?
No. I mean, I'm frustrated with this.
I love you. So mad.
Like, but the subject also frustrates me, just because it's
sure.
Like, it's people being angry. But here's the other thing that I was going to try to say, that
okay.
I'm super not cool with the people who watch that clip, because it was announced, and they announced it with a clip that's like, it's Lion-O introducing it.
Yeah, I'm a Thundercat.
And then it goes to the studio, and like the lead animator or something.
Yeah, he's like the showrunner.
Yeah, he's talking about like the new show and how he grew up watching the old one, and that he's really excited to be working on a new comedy based off of it, and like all this stuff.
I remember, yeah.
And he's just a guy. He's a guy, and he's got kind of like a man bun thing going on.
Yeah.
And I'm really super not okay with people who don't like this attacking him for how he looks.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, oh, this just goes to prove that man buns are not good for something. And I'm just like, what does that have to do with anything?
It's like...
So he looks like a hipster, whatever.
They don't like this show, so they're going to attack how this man looks? Like, that's not fucking cool. That's not okay. People are like, you don't warn me about his hair, and then some people being like, his hair voted for Trump. And I'm like, can you not?
Really?
Like, can we not?
That's so funny because...
Can we not make these fucking jokes?
Not like, funny haha, but funny like ironically, because there's the whole thing, this argument, this conversation about this new Thundercat show has been co-opted. Do you want to sit down on the bench for a little bit? There you go.
I'm gonna save up here and then sit.
That's a good idea. It's been co-opted by these friggin' these alt-right anti-SJW guys who are making videos with like Thundercats for the cucked generation, and this is toxic.
Makes sense.
Toxic anti-masculinity, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That doesn't make sense.
What are you saying? You crazy goose? You silly Billy? You silly bitch.
But like, I'm just, that's another thing that it really riles me when people, they don't like a show, so they're gonna attack, like, a human?
Well, that's like the people who are all pissed off in the Steven Universe fandom, who went after, who got all up in Rebekah Sugar's face. That's her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think maybe that's another reason why I get so upset about people getting upset over shows that do not belong to them, that belong to children, is that I'm like, you are going to ruin a show for children because you decided to become toxic and attack a human being.
Yeah.
You know?
Certainly ruined the show for me. I'm sure Steven Universe is a great show. I just don't, I sort of, but I got turned off from it. There you go. I got turned off from it early on. And now I feel like it's going to take me too long to get caught back up on it. And I'm like, I don't have time for this now.
Well, they're literally 10-minute long episodes.
Oh, they are?
I was multiple seasons behind, and I just caught up this past week. Took me like a day.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe that's not so bad then.
They're roughly all 10-minute episodes.
Now, then again, My Little Pony, I feel like, is going to take me a hot minute, because I'm on season 7, and I think I left off on season 4. I was going to say, you sort of are kind of done. You were kind of over My Little Pony after a minute, weren't you?
Yeah, not for a bad thing. I did feel like when, come on. I felt like after,
Oh, you got this. Oh.
Just hit him!
Come on!
I love you, Matt. It's not really that funny.
I'm more laughing at that. I laugh at a lot of stuff. I laugh at, like, situations. Just your frustration is... It's not that I'm drinking the sweet, sweet milk of your tears. It's just that... You so rarely, in the time I've known you, gotten this frustrated about something.
So I'm just frustrated with a game that is not working the way it is supposed to.
Right, and I'm...
It's not a matter of skill. It's a matter of like, I don't know, do the controls work?
I also laugh to deal with uncomfortable situations.
I'm uncomfortable. I'm an uncomfortable person.
There you go. Come on, just fucking thank you. Great job.
So, there goes the mini boss.
Such a good job.
Yay.
You did it. You did a good. It's a bird.
It's an interesting concept for a battle. It just...
But the controls
Your controls kind of suck.
Yeah. Shut up.
And like, even when I dodged at what should have been the right time to dodge, it was still just like, no, you got hit though.
But I said you. It's like
fuck you.
It's like a playground fight. Like, no, my power.
Where the kid just keeps changing the fucking rules.
Yeah, it's like
that's what I need.
It's like what's that? What's that joke? Jinx, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dragon breath. What's dragon breath?
Yeah. What is that? You made that up. No.
No, I didn't. Dragon breath. Melts secret lock and key.
It's like.
I never did that.
I know how to use a bow and arrow.
A boner. Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And so there's a time stone somewhere around here. Yeah, but if you go back out onto the deck, there's a time stone that you can hit it with your arrow. Yeah.
I don't know. It just ultimately, it's the entitlement that people have over shows that's like, well, no, I should own this. This is for me. I mean, it's not. It's for children.
For the
Cartoon Network has always been for children.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, I feel like I have a theory. I have a hypothesis, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in the late 90s into the early 2000s, anime was getting really big.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were starting to discover that, we can have cartoons that, I think you're supposed to go on to the other...
Well, there's a door back here that's...
I think it was... all right. Oh, yeah. I just don't know if the thing you're heading towards was supposed to be activated by the time stone first.
Well, more to hear. We're gonna find out.
Okay. So, anyway, so we discovered anime and we're like, ooh, it's anime. It's like a cartoon but for grown-ups.
Yes.
And then we started discovering that we're getting cut down versions. We need to be getting the real version. There you go. We need to be getting the real versions. Mm-hmm. So we started getting the real versions, and that started making the adaptation versions of anime die off because the fans wanted the quote-unquote the real versions. So, and then at around this time, because anime was getting so popular, American television shows started adapting. Not adapting, but they started making their American animation to be more like anime.
Yeah.
Stuff like Teen Titans and Avatar and fucking whatever. Fucking Totally Spies. And that fucking show.
That was a show.
Every frame of that show is someone's fetish. So then those shows were popular for a period of time, but anime was already kind of scratching that itch, and it was also coinciding with the fact that a lot of these shows, their action figures weren't selling.
No.
You know, because kids were starting to transition away from action figures and more towards video games and mobile games and stuff.
Yeah.
So they became more and more expensive to produce. And then...
I mean, that's the thing that you got to realize about a lot of cartoons, is that a lot of cartoons make their money off of the merchandise, first and foremost.
Right.
And that is how it's always been.
Sure. That's, you know...
You want to talk Thundercats? It made money off toys.
Nobody bought the Bandai toys they put out. I just bought the She-Ra on eBay, actually.
I have some cute little, like, chibi ones.
I saw those!
Yeah, they're super cute.
Anyway.
I found them at, like, a fucking,
Oh, you need something different for that. I think now you're supposed to go back to time stone.
Yeah. Anyway. I found them at like not Savers, but one of those like
a Ross.
Super cheap kind of like
TJ Maxx.
Not really secondhand, but like store leftovers.
Oh man, there's like a what is that?
It's also where I found that like police playset that totally had Chris Redfield on it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So so this is where kind of things were going, and then in the early 2010s, those shows all started dying off because kids were really into stuff like Adventure Time.
Yeah.
And wrong way. They started getting into stuff like Adventure Time and fucking whatever because that action cartoon itch, which was mostly appealing to older audiences, was being scratched by anime.
Yeah, they could just watch anime now.
Yeah. Like, why would you... Like, I love Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think it's a great show. But I go back and I watch it sometimes, and I'm kind of like, this still, in a lot of ways, feels like a watered-down American attempt at an anime. I think it was on the other side. It's right there. Up. So, but it's like on the other side, though. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to help. Stop yelling at me. Why won't you let me love you?
I'm gonna marry your wife.
I know you are. So, Morgan sends her love. He's so happy. Such a happy face.
Immediately in a better mood.
Oh, I'm so glad. See, like, there you go.
That's all it takes.
Okay, let's get this time zone activated, and I think we better call this episode.
I'm stealing your wife to go see the Anastasia musical.
That's
what's gonna happen.
You can do that. You're not supposed to... Oh, there you go. I actually like the drawback mechanic on this. Like the fact that it can zoom in. Yeah, I actually really like that.
It feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, I won't lie about that.
There's things about this game that are actually kind of okay. Kind of. Okay.
It's got good ideas.
Yeah. Anyway, so...
Good ideas, debatable execution.
Oh, sure. So to finish up my thought, no, so then people started just going to anime, and anime is its own kettle of fish.
Oh, it's got its own issues.
It's got its own issues, but there was this period of time where these older audiences were watching stuff like Legend of Korra and Thundercats, but they were watching it the way they watched anime, which is the thing that kind of led to anime's near death in the early 2000s, which is they're just fucking downloading it. And that's... I mean, I know that Nielsen ratings don't really mean anything. Well, Nielsen ratings are the only things that really mean anything. Sort of.
Yes, not as much anymore. And they've been debatable for a long time because you actually have to have a Nielsen box,
right,
for it to even count. So like you can have cable and be watching it, and it won't.
It won't matter.
It won't matter if you don't have the Nielsen box.
But at the same time, like I said, if advertisers aren't perceiving that you're watching something, or you're just downloading it, because they know when you're downloading shit, then they're not going to advertise on that show. That's why that's why it'll get moved to different time slots.
Yeah, they'll put something else in that time slot that's going to do better that the advertisers are not going to pull from. Like, it's not them fucking with you when they move something's time slot. It's not that they're putting in a time slot to fuck with you. It's because something else is doing better,
right? And
they need that they need that ad revenue.
So back when Foxbox was on air, I got super excited because Ultraman Tiga was going to be on it, and I'm like, oh my god, an Ultraman show on a modern American television? Are you fucking kidding me? What are you going to go in there?
I can't. It's not a door.
It's not. Then I guess go back up.
Problem.
Maybe you're supposed to go down there with... Can you not hit it from here?
I guess maybe... Can I hit the eye again?
Yeah, I think... Oh, yeah, hit that one. There you go.
I thought it was... Okay, I thought it was closed permanently the way the others were.
So then, I mean, just real quick, just so I can finish this up. All those shows started dying off. Legend of Korra and these shows that they perceived... the Ultraman thing. Ultraman, according to my buddy Brad Warner, who worked for Tsuburaya at the time, Ultraman Tiga was actually doing fairly okay in the ratings. It had like 4 or 5 million viewers a week. But for Fox, that's not very many. Yeah. And so they moved it around. They moved it to a later time slot because the people who were watching it were mostly older people who grew up with Ultraman.
Yeah.
And they were replacing it with stuff like The Kirby Show, which had crazy good ratings. Or Sonic X or whatever. And, yeah, ultimately it just couldn't stick around, so they took it off the air before it even finished its first season.
Yeah.
They put out the DVD with the uncut episodes, which was nice. But anyway, so all these kind of shows, they couldn't maintain their advertisers, and that's just the way things went. So now we have an environment where it's all this trend of Adventure Time style shows. Someone's decided, I want to make a Thundercats type show because I'm from Cal Arts, and I remember this. Oh, I like the little... It is cute. So, anyway, we've talked about this long enough. Fuck you, get off my boat. Oh, that's good. That's a good angle.
Camera angle. Yeah, like, just give the show a fine chance. And you know what? Even if you don't like it,
don't have to watch it.
Fuck off.
Yeah, don't have to watch it. Don't have to watch it. You're not crusading for some quality level in children's television programming.
You're not crusading a cause.
You're just mad that you're not being catered to. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I know it sucks, because I'm sure the 5 of you listening who actually watched the Thundercats cartoon from 2011 are mad that they didn't finish it.
Yeah. Go watch literally any of the other hundreds of things made for your, for you. There's a lot, all right?
Go watch anime. There you go.
Let's go that way?
Yeah, I think so. Hey, yeah, there you go. All right, so we got that open. I think we're going to take a little break because we've been doing this for almost a full hour.
All right.
And,
let's go.
Yeah, we've.
Bye.